Okay, Rara Thomas is now a Georgia Bulldog, he says. The transfer portal being used by the Bulldogs really for the first time in a while. And in this case, Georgia's adding a receiver who was pretty productive for state. 44 receptions in 2022, I should be more clear, for 626 yards, 7 touchdowns. His best game was against Auburn. 6 catches for 84 yards, 33-yard long with 2 touchdowns. He also didn't play bad against Alabama. 8 receptions for 73 yards. He uh, had a catch in every single game that I can tell he played. But I don't know. He's from Eufaula, Alabama, 6'2", 200. So I don't know necessarily that he's going to come in and be the best receiver. But when you take a look at the chart and everything's over here for me, um, right now Georgia has 11 guys on scholarship in on the team. Kyrus Jackson, this is his final season. Rosemary Jack Saint and Blaylock should be back next year. McConkey, Arian Smith, and Mitchell, you would expect all of them to be back. So, Morissette, Spear, Bell, um, Smith, and Meeks all started the season at Georgia this past year on scholarship. So I think it really just provides more in the rotation in terms of depth. Um, we've seen, though, y'all, over time that Georgia's not just going to grab a guy to grab him. I mean, when Kirby and Georgia get guys in the transfer game, whether it was a transfer portal, which they really didn't use this past year, or you know, when they brought in Mo in 2016. They're going to use them and play them. They're not going to just get guys and, they're sort of being out, excuse me, a possible playing. No, they're getting these guys with the notion that these guys will play. JT Daniels is a good example of that. Got him in the transfer game. I don't know if there was a portal at the time. I can't remember. All these years are starting to run together. But with Rara Thomas, what you're getting is someone who's been productive. I mean, 5 catches against Memphis, 5 against Arizona, 4 against LSU, 1 against Bowling Green, 5 against A&M, 1 against Arkansas, Kentucky each, and then 8 against Bama, 6 against Auburn, 2 against Georgia. That was it. That was one of his least productive games outside of Kentucky and Arkansas and Bowling Green. What Georgia really just stopped him, and then East Tennessee State with 4 receptions, and then 2 receptions, including a touchdown against Ole Miss. So State didn't use him to run the ball. Then again, State hardly ever ran the ball, right? Um, but he was the guy that put State up 8 on the Rebels with 7 minutes to go, or 8 minutes to go in that game. So he's certainly been very productive. He's been productive when it matters. Um, I think that's basically what this is. Hey, listen, if you still are interested in Dogstruction, make sure you're picking it up at Red Zone. I don't have any more to give out. We're going to order some in the near future, but right now they are all at Red Zone. There's 24 of them. They may be there after Christmas. They might not be. That's how it's been going these days. So, in the limited time that you have before Christmas, run to Athens if you're in Gwinnett or Madison or Monroe or anywhere I mean, I think from Augusta, it's a perfectly adequate drive to get up there. You can go Friday or Saturday, make an afternoon out of it. A lot of interesting shopping in Athens. It dropped by Red Zone. They are the only ones that have it that you can get it before Christmas. And they only have 24. So if you're interested in getting them, go get them now. Our friends at Ticket IQ have got the best situation in terms of the Peach Bowl tickets. They have been dropping in price. Ticket IQ is sponsoring us. That is very awesome. I don't get any money from Red Zone. So this is not a sponsorship. I'm just telling you that that's the only place that you can get from Red Zone. So um, make sure that you're checking Ticket IQ out. I'll tell the story one more time. I was looking for tickets to a concert in 23. the ridiculous nature of secondary market is not necessarily what you deal with at Ticket IQ. It's much more straight and to the point, and you're not going to be paying $400 in charges. It's just ridiculous, just stealing from people. So Ticket IQ is where I've used it in December. So make sure you're doing that. I think for Georgia, with Thomas coming in, Kieras is probably Thomas has been more productive because they throw it more than Georgia does. But I mean, Kieras in 23, excuse me, in 22 has been 19 receptions for 265 yards. So, Kieras, they're going to have to replace guys like that. And, we know Lab McConkey has been Georgia's most productive wide receiver. And for his season, he's had 51 catches, 675 yards. So, Lab McConkey has been more productive, but that's what you're getting is a little somewhere between, in terms of production, somewhere between Kieras and Lab McConkey. I don't think he's going to have as many touches as he did at State because, frankly, at State, all they do is throw it. I mean, all you have to do is watch the game that Georgia played against State to realize that. I mean, I don't think that this is a game-changing transfer. We're not at that point with Georgia anymore. It's just, this sounds bad, but it's another cog in the wheel. It's another problem to deal with. And you know, with what you're going to have a new quarterback in 23. Probably you're going to have Carson Beck would be my suspicion, but that's what the spring is for. No one else has had significant playing time besides Carson for the Dogs outside of Stetson Bennett. It's basically been Carson. So there are some new pieces to the puzzle that are all going to have to add up to a very nice picture. But with Rara Thomas coming on, um, Georgia's only going to go get guys who help them, that they know and who have sort of been through the recruiting process, and that can give them like an immediate help, an immediate need. And if that's not who the person is, Georgia's not going to recruit them. I mean, they're just not going to. I mean, why would you always want to over recruit? I mean, you want to recruit over what you've got. Um, I don't know that that's the case here necessarily. I don't know that, but I know he's been very productive at State, and that matters. And for this Georgia program that is going to be challenging for the national championship in 2023, you know, it's a good pickup. I don't think it's game changing. Uh, you know, this program is probably beyond game changing transfers at this stage. They just are. And De'Aaron Kendrick, was he a game changer? It wasn't a game changer, but he really, really helped him on that corner, right? I mean, opposite that was Keeley, who was young at the time. Um, I just think that you know they know what they're doing, and they're looking for a specific tool. They are not. Georgia is not like, oh man, we got to get a Swiss Army knife of people in here. No, they just need one of them. That's it. It's not like Georgia is sitting there saying, hey, we got to get a quarterback, we got to get running backs, we got to no, that's not where they're at. I mean, they're right on top of the number. I'm just looking at my board here. I know y'all can't see it, but they're going to be right on top of the number because of the amount of guys that they signed. Bill Norton left. You've got 10 seniors. You're going to have some guys leave early. Darnell, I would imagine. Jalen Carter, I would imagine. So there are guys that can leave and go to the NFL, but you're right on top of that 85 number right now. I mean, they signed 24. I mean, while I'm recording this, we're waiting on 25. You got 10 leaving. They were already at 85. So there's going to be some attrition within the program, and that's not a big deal. It happens every single season. But, I wonder, you got Keeley, Jalen, uh, Darnell. My imagination is that the three of them will go for sure. So that puts you, you know, instead of returning 18 juniors, returning 15. Instead of 10 guys leaving from senior class, 13. We don't know what's going to happen with Jack Benesley yet either. So, but or Warren McClendon, excuse me, or McClendon on tackle for Georgia. I mean, they're doing fine on the chart. They're doing fine there. But adding Rara Thomas is just another weapon. He's not George Pickens, and that's fine. They have gone through and had two regular undefeated seasons with George Pickens playing one of those games. So one of the 24 games George Pickens played Georgia, they were undefeated in the other 23. So it's more than any one person. But they are loaded up again.